Welcome to Barely Sober Throne Talk. I'm George Pecoraro, reviewing Season 6, Episode 9 of Game of Thrones, called Battle of the Bastards. Now, this is probably the most famous title of a Game of Thrones episode, and probably one of the greatest episodes of Game of Thrones. Now, this episode was just, you loved every second of it. Having the first meeting of Jon Snow and Ramsay Bolton, to them strategizing, to having them fight, and learning more and more about this episode, about how real the fight was between Jon and Ramsay. They said that they didn't want to use too much CGI. They really wanted to film as much of it as possible. They ended up using about 80 horses in the fight scene. And even having the stampede of horses coming at Jon Snow, that was real. And a lot of moving around in this fight scene, and the maneuvers of Jon Snow and the other horses was very real. It was very cool to watch and very cool to see also how they were making it. I know that HBO put out them breaking down shooting it, so if you're interested in that, check that out. You could YouTube it. They just look up Battle of the Bastards, and how they filmed it. Now, I want to talk about Sansa real quick. Now, Sansa, she really is kind of coming into her own and kind of seeing more of her as her mother. Now, her mother really could understand people and really plan ahead, and that's what she does. She kind of knew that Rickon was going to die. She kind of knew that Ramsay was going to use him to manipulate Jon and try to get him to do what he wanted. Now, and that's pretty much exactly what happened. He played to Jon's emotions that he wanted to save his brother and get him out and have Jon and his army attack Ramsay instead of Ramsay attacking Jon. And it worked perfectly. But also, Ramsay didn't take into account that reinforcements will come from Littlefinger and Sansa. Now, obviously, we kind of figured out where Sansa sent that letter, and honestly, it worked out for the best. I'm sure what the letter says and what's going on with Littlefinger now, we don't know. And glad to see the Starks have Winterfell back, and where they go from now, I'm not too sure. I mean, what enemies do they have now? Are they gonna go for the Iron Throne? Or are they seeking justice, revenge on other people? I mean, I don't know. Glad to see Ramsay's dead, get eaten by his own dogs at Sansa's hand, which was pretty cool. Kind of gory, but that's okay. And also to see kind of Jon still just be victorious. When he goes into Melisandre and say that, don't bring me back to life if I fall. I thought that was a little bit of foreshadowing when I watched it, and I'm like, oh no, Jon's gonna actually die again. And they're just going to actually let him die. And he didn't really. There was parts when he was getting trampled over, like, oh no, this is it, Jon's going to go, or something. There's show that, Jon surviving this battle, a lot of it was luck. They really kind of shown that, from arrows to other people, just mayhem in this battle scene, which was pretty awesome. It kind of shows that Jon got really lucky in surviving the battle. And I was actually kind of surprised that he kind of left the battle unscathed, and still got to beat up Ramsay, which he was loving, by the way. And also that scene between Jon Snow and Ramsay, when Jon Snow's on top of him, beating him up. They said they shot that for 10 hours. Ramsay on the bottom, Jon Snow on top. Okay, 10 hours of that? That's kind of kinky right there. But anyway, it's good to see the Starks back in Winterfell, And let's talk about just real quick about the last thing. Daenerys and Tyrion kind of really getting ships now. They met up with Theon and Yara. And kind of Daenerys really liked Yara being a queen. And she kind of fell for them a little bit, Now they have a lot of ships. She's got the Dothraki army. She's got the Unsullied. She's got 3 dragons. And now she has ships. So pretty sure, she's going to start sailing across the sea. And hopefully she doesn't take too long doing that. We'll see. What else does she need? What else is she looking for? She's still trying to free Marine. I guess she mostly did that. I'm sure there's still going to be problems with that, but I hope that's over and she starts heading for Westeros. Now, all in all, I think this is probably one of the greatest episodes of Game of Thrones. Had me intrigued. Battle scene, I watched the episode twice, and I love this battle scene. Just amazing, just mayhem, and just pure blood and gore, and then just all these men going at it the best they can. Great episode. Really excited to see the season finale. Hopefully they bring it. I'm George Pecoraro. This is Barely Sober News and Reviews. Check us out on Twitter and Instagram at Barely Sober News. I'm always posting things and things you should know about anything Game of Thrones, so check us out there. And as Tormund would say, happy shitting.